Hi, welcome to EDSC 580, your educational resource. My name is Professor Bobo, and welcome to the final two classes of your master's program in school counseling. For these last two courses, you will be writing your capstone project and creating a capstone project. So there are a couple of things that I'd like you to begin to think about. A problem in school counseling, something that you feel needs more addressing. Perhaps it has been researched in the past, but there are some new solutions to the problem. Picking a topic that is of interest to you. So throughout this program, you guys have been thinking about certain subjects areas such as bullying, student achievement, counseling resources. There are so many other problems that you researched, single families, trauma, just a lot, and many others. So I'd like you to start thinking about something that you're interested in, something that poses a problem as a school counselor, and something that the school counselor would begin to address. Now, some cautions. We will be writing 4 chapters in this capstone. And in chapters 3, you will research, and the project, you're going to pick something that you've already done for the most part, something that you've already seen, because you won't have that much time to conduct an actual research project. So you will pick something where you have access to data, you'll review that data, and then you will use that data to analyze it, and that will be your chapter 4. So again, let me go back. The capstone project has 4 chapters in it, and in EDSC 550, we will be focusing, 580, excuse me, 580 we'll be focusing on chapters 1, 2, and 3. So chapters 1, let me share my screen with you. In chapters 1, we'll begin talking about the problem and what is the purpose of this study. And then we'll ask some research questions. And I'll go into more detail on our first session on that. And then we'll have a subjectivity statement and definition of terms. Now you can find all of this in the writing template that is in the capstone resources on our Blackboard page, okay? Chapter 2, what we're going to do with chapter 2 is collect all of the journals that you'll be using. That is going to be a review of your literature regarding this problem. What has already been studied? What conclusions did they come to? And what do you agree and disagree with, and how you would like to approach the problem with a different, maybe set of eyes, and how you would begin to start to research that problem. And then finally in chapter 3, the method and the setting of what we would be, the method and the setting of what you'll be working on, okay? So let me go back to that. Yeah, so the method, the setting, the role of the researcher, and then the plan for reflective exploration of the problem. All right, and then chapter 4 will be the findings and the discussion and the conclusion. So in this course, EDSC 580, we're going to write chapters 1 and 3. That's what will be due by the end of week 8. For chapters 2, on our first week, I will have the library researcher come on and assist us with finding the different journals for your particular problem, how to go about researching. Maybe many of you will be familiar with it, but if you're not, our librarian will help you navigate through the process and assist you with finding the most relevant research. We want to have the most relevant research, so nothing more than 5 years old in regards to applying past research on this particular problem that you are trying to add more insight to and discover more about. Okay, and then so what you will be required to do in this course is just collect the literature and begin reading the journals. Now, it is, you have to have a minimum of 15 journals, and sometimes those journals can be 20, 30 pages long. So that is why we are just collecting them and beginning reading them, and then in 605, we'll actually write the literature review, and then write chapters 4 as well. And then that will conclude the 2 courses that I'll be teaching with you during spring 1 and spring 2. Okay, and then of course there's other parts to the project, such as the abstract, the table of contents, and all of these things that will be part of putting it all together to make it a final submission at the end in EDSC, 605, and then you'll also have to do a presentation of your work, okay, in a PowerPoint format. So those are the things that we will be working on. So in this course, let's talk about the syllabus. And of course, the syllabus is on Blackboard. So you have the 2 textbooks, 3 textbooks that are required. The Reflective Practice Guide. It tells you how to go about, kind of coming up with a particular problem that you want to research. Then the Capstone Experience, which is on Blackboard. And I was reading from that earlier. Let me share my screen with you again. This is in the Blackboard area. This is the Capstone experience, and this is what you will go over, and you will take a look at the handbook and how to create it, and what are the expectations of the learning outcomes, the core values, etc., and the guidelines. So we really want you to think about what you're trying to do. So as I've already stated, in 580, you're going to complete chapters 1 and 3, and then you're going to develop the structure for chapters 2. And then in 605, you'll write chapters 2 and chapters 4. Again, you're going to use something that has already you have the data collected for to make this process go by a little bit easier. It's more, we don't have enough time for you, and especially with COVID, it would be too difficult for you to actually complete a project during this time. The handbook also has the number of pages that are required for the project. There they are right here. So once you put everything together, you'll have the title page, approval, and approval, citation, and permission, acknowledgement, the abstract, table of contents. Chapter 1 is approximately 3 to 5 pages. That's the problem. Chapter 2, the literature review, is 4 to 6 pages. Chapter 3, 4 to 6 pages, which we'll be writing also, which is the methods. And then chapter 4 is the analyzation of your research. And then your reference pages, you have to have a minimum of 16 references for the literature review. And then of course, finally, the oral presentation, and that is due in 605. So that is the last 8 weeks. So think of this capstone project as a 16-week project, but there are deadlines that you must meet for each course. So it's really important that you meet those deadlines. Now, I know COVID is still going on and many people have a lot happening, so it's important that you communicate with me as quickly as possible to inform me of any particular situation that you may have. And I can't wait for late communication. It's important that you communicate with me ASAP because the 8 weeks goes by very quickly. All right. For the week 1, you are going to, your first assignment is the library research review. So again, we have an appointment at 6:30 with the library researcher, and the librarian will be visiting our class virtually during week 1. That'll assist you with assignment number 1. And again, she's going to highlight how to go about finding the resources for your literature review, even though we are not writing the literature review in this course. I wanted us to get in and get the information right away, so it makes it easy for us to collect those resources when the time comes, all right? Assignment number 2 is the literature review matrix, and you're going to be keeping that during the time. So assignment number 2, let me just get assignment 2 up for you. Hold on 1 second. All right, assignment number 2. After you're going to provide a brief description of the project that seems to be the best fit for you at this time, you're going to briefly discuss the problem and concern using the purpose statement for solving the problem or understanding the issue. You're going to include your desired outcome for this particular research study. And you need to make sure that your first sentence grabs the attention of the reader, and any idea maybe to paraphrase the research of others and state a startling statistic, cite a source that will grab someone's attention, all right? So this is the beginning of chapter 1, and it's going to help you begin to write chapter 1. So you are going to make sure you include a critical self-review of the problem and its personal significance to you. Is the problem stated clearly with support from your professional literature, which is a minimum of 3 citations and sources? And does the reflection contain a brief description of your experience in education and current educational roles, such as your setting, grade level, subject, and maintain confidence of school site, using broad descriptors such as elementary, Los Angeles County, and so on. Then in the section of the purpose of the study, have you clearly articulated the purpose of the study and focusing on your core educational values and the outcomes desired? Is the purpose tied to the reflection with the support from professional literature? And have you clearly articulated the primary and secondary research question, what you plan to research? And then the subjectivity statement. Did you critically self-reflect and reveal your assumptions or biases in regard to this topic of study? And have you considered how your assumptions or biases may impact the results of your study and how you will avoid this from happening? And have you ever considered how your subjectivity limits you as a researcher? And then you're going to have a definition of terms, and you're only going to include operational definitions of terms that are unfamiliar to a professional educator, okay? and you would include those also in that area. So the rubric for that assignment is there, and you will begin that. All right, assignment number 3 is the annotated bibliography, and you're going to begin gathering credible literature on your topic. And this is going to assist you with writing the literature review. And it looks at all sides of the problem. You're going to be comparing and contrasting ideas that are expressed in the works for your paper. As a starting point, you will analyze 16 journal articles and complete an evaluative annotated bibliography. And you're going to use the tips for how to create one that's provided by the Columbia College template. All right. So your Chapter 2 literature review was going to be completed, as I stated earlier, in EDSC 605. So you're going to just be using your annotated bibliography to develop the themes between your articles and organize your topics and headings and thoroughly synthesize the literature. And your literature review should be paraphrased with little to no quotes, all right? And this is the part where you want to be very cautious of plagiarism. And it takes a lot of reading and rewriting to ensure that you're not using the same exact wording that is too close to plagiarism, all right? And then assignment 3A is finding the first 8 references, which is due in week 4, and then assignment 3B, which is due in week 5, and finding the additional 8 resources. All right, so we have assignment 1, just to review, the library research review, which is due week 1. Then we have assignment 2, which is chapter 1, beginning writing chapter 1, and that is the problem, and that's due week 3. Then we have due week 4, the first 8 references of journal reviews. So you should have 8 ready to go. And then week 5, the next 8, okay, for a total of 16 that's required. Again, you are not writing the literature review during this course, you're only collecting the journals. Now you may throw out some and find another one. That's what the purpose of this is for. Then we have assignment 4, which is writing chapter 3, and that is due week 6. So in chapter 3, we're talking about methods. And the methods, by discussing your current or past setting and broad descriptors to keep information confidential, your role and your reflective researcher, your data collection methods, and we'll talk about that, the critical reflection journal, the open-ended qualitative surveys and observation journal, and your plan for analysis or your triangulation. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Your entire proposal should be written in the past tense, which shows that you've already done it, so that you don't need to make tense changes in 605, okay? And then your final assignment for this course, 580, is assignment 5, and it's the proposal, all right? So the proposal is due the final week, and you're going to use the Capstone Handbook writing template to write your proposal. It needs to have the APA requirements. It has to have the title page, the revised chapters 1 and 2, leveled subheadings for chapter 2. So you won't be writing it, but you'll just put the headings there, that the different areas that you plan to review for chapter 2. And then your references and appendices, like your reflection, the appendices will be your reflection journal, your open-ended survey, and or your observation journal, okay? And you're going to submit your revised and formatted proposal to Blackboard for your final grade to be submitted and be the enrollment for 605. Your proposal must be submitted in Microsoft Word only to allow for efficient assessment of formatting and grading. And it is due on Friday, the last day of the course, okay? So in 605, we'll complete chapters 2 and 4 and submit your entire project, okay? So those are the assignments that are due for this particular course. And so I want you guys to make sure you follow the timelines appropriately. If you get behind, it's going to be difficult to kind of catch up and make sure that you get everything done. It's nice when you can do 580 and 605 in between a vacation because it helps you to get that extra time. Unfortunately, we don't have that when we're going spring 1 and spring 2. So we just have our vacation days in spring 1 and our vacation days in spring 2. And I'm talking about those vacation days that we have for education. And if you're not in education, that's a little even more difficult. Because we only have a couple of major holidays that give you that all-day opportunity to sit down and read those journals and highlight them and get prepared for writing that literature review and writing the problem and thinking about the research and the methods that you will do for the research. Okay, so right now you're going to just start thinking about that problem and that problem in school counseling, something that you want to address, something that you're passionate about, and something that you have some familiarity with. That is important as well. And we'll talk about more details about how we'll do the methods and how we'll analyze the data as we go along in this course. A little bit about me. I've been working with Concordia since the inception of the program, the school counseling program, which began in 2011. I was one of the first professors to write all the syllabi for the various courses, and they've been fine-tuned over time as the university has made several changes. And this is one of the changes. One of the changes for this course is it used to be a group project. It's no longer that. And it used to be an actual capstone where we had to do more research. And we actually had to do a project within the 8-week time. And now we're not doing that anymore. So, and it is an individual. We are allowing people to work individually. So these are some of the changes for this course over time. And this is my, I have taught this course, but more as a group project, all right? So I look forward to seeing you the first week. And I will be uploading my lecture videos and things that you should be working on for during weeks 2, 4, 6, and 7 to ensure that you're on time. So you'll look for those postings to answer any type of questions that you may have and provide you with additional detailed information that should help you move along with creating this project and being able to accomplish it. All right, I look forward to seeing you on Thursday evening. Thank you so much and welcome to the course.